Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Let me move this a little bit. Hi, everyone. Okay, today let's talk about our blood pressure, okay? Yes, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Don't forget to give this live a very big thumbs up and continue to join. Today we're going to share very important tips about high blood pressure, okay? Before I go into that, let me remind you that I'm sponsoring people who want to learn more about how to, how to grow on YouTube. Um, if that sounds like you, just put a comment on this when I post this video, or if you join me, just put a comment that you're interested. I'll tell you what to do, and I will let you know where you can get trained. Okay. So what is high blood pressure? I know that a lot of people already know like what high blood pressure is, but let me quote this authority that explained that high blood pressure, also known as hypertension, right, occurs when the force of blood, right, against the arteries. You know that in your body there's a channel where the blood flows through, right? That is what we call the artery. So that passage where the blood goes through is what we call the artery. And when the force of blood against the artery wall, right, um is consistently too high, meaning before they can tell you that, okay, they can before they can conclude that you have high blood pressure, this um the force or the measurement they get to to determine this conclusion have to be consistent. What am I talking about? I'm saying that it doesn't mean that if somebody goes to the hospital today and they check the blood pressure and the blood pressure is high, they just say, oh, you've developed Hi, thank you for joining. So if you just go to hospital today and the doctor checks your blood pressure, they're not going to say immediately that, oh, you have a high blood pressure. No, that's not how it works. Hi, okay, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here. We're not going to be here for long, but just let me share this important information, okay? Because I think we all need this. And as I said, I'll be going live teaching people about health, and also I'm sponsoring people who want to learn on YouTube. So if that sounds like you, when I post this video, after you can comment on the comment section. Oh, okay. So you can comment on the comment section, and when I post this video, just indicate your interest that you need to be sponsored to go attend a class on how to do better on YouTube, and I'm going to sponsor you. Okay, so we are talking about high blood pressure. I said that the high blood pressure occurs when the force of blood on the artery, how your blood is passing through the where the blood is supposed to pass, I mean the artery, is consistently high. As I said, it doesn't mean that if somebody just go to the hospital, oh, Didi, so sorry, you are healed, you are healed, don't give up. Didi said, I have cancer. A lot of people have survived cancer, and you're not going to be an exception. Hi Krishna, thank you for joining. So if you go to the hospital today, and your blood pressure is high, your doctor is not just going to say immediately, oh, you're hypertensive. No, that's not the way it works. This high blood pressure, I mean the measurement the doctor gets, needs to keep going on for a certain period of time, meaning one measurement, like if your blood pressure is only high today, they're not going to say, no, now you're hypertensive. No, it needs to be consistently high. Okay, so when the force of the blood on the artery wall is consistently too high, mean it keeps being high for a long time. It's a common condition that this high blood pressure we're talking about is a common condition that can lead to serious health issues, and we all know high blood pressure is not a new thing, and if it remains untreated, it can cause a whole lot of problem. Okay, and I said something about drinking water. Before I go deep into what I want to explain about high blood pressure. Do you ever think that drinking water can affect your blood pressure in any way? If you're hearing me, let me know your comments. Let me know your answer in the comment section. Do you ever know that high blood pressure can affect? Drinking water can affect your blood pressure? And do you know how? If you know how, let me hear you in the comment section, please. Okay, because I'm going to explain that today. And also, if you have question, any type of question, even if it's not related to what I'm talking about during this live, you can always type it on the comment section and I'm going to answer you, okay? So let's keep going. I've explained to you what high blood pressure is, right? And what are the measurements of this high blood pressure? We know that there are different kinds of measurement, right? Blood pressure is measured in millimeter of mercury and has two numbers. The one we call the systolic, which is always the number on top, and the one we call the diastolic, which is the number below. That is how the blood pressure is measured, right? Normal blood pressure is typically, everybody knows, is like 120 over 80. We all know the normal. If your blood pressure is within 120 over 80, is normal. But I want to explain one thing here. When we say that 120 over 80 is the normal blood pressure, it doesn't mean that if I see a patient today that has a blood pressure of 110 over 70, I will say, oh, you have a bad blood pressure reading. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way, okay? So if I see a patient today that has a blood pressure of 100 over 60 even, I'm not going to say, oh, your blood pressure reading is wrong, because each individual has their own ranges. This is just telling you like what we consider as normal is 120 over 80. That's the best reading, okay? But if your blood pressure is 110 over 70, please don't go and say, oh, my blood pressure is bad. It is not like that. I'm just giving you the figure which the expert has stated that, okay, this is the best one to have. High blood pressure is generally defined as reading of 130 over 80 or higher. So before we start telling you that, oh, you have a high blood pressure, your reading probably is ranging between 130 over 80 or higher. Now, by the time we start telling you that, oh, you're now in stage 1 of high blood pressure, right? It's generally when your reading goes like 130 to 139. Remember, I told you there are two readings when it comes to high blood pressure. We have the systolic and the diastolic. So when the systolic, the number on top is now like between 130 over 130 to 139, right? Over 180, over 80 to 89. So if your blood pressure now is 130 over 80, I will say, okay, you're in stage 1 of high blood pressure. If your blood pressure is 139 over 89, I will still tell you, you are still within the, the first stage of high blood pressure. The second stage will be like when the systolic, the number on top, the blood pressure reading on top is now 140 or higher, okay? Or the one on the bottom, which is the diastolic, is like 90 or higher. That is when we say that, okay, you are now in stage 2 of high blood pressure. If you have any question, as I said, please type it in the comment section. And don't forget, as I said, I'm sponsoring people who want to learn how to grow on YouTube or how to improve yourself. I know a lot of people depend on YouTube probably for their living. So I have a coach who I sponsor. I pay the person and they train you on how to grow on YouTube. I'm just giving out those tips, because I'm using my channel to, to talk about health, improve people's health. Now, when do they tell you are now in hypertensive crisis? A hypertensive crisis is requiring immediate attention, and is when 180 over 120 or higher is your blood pressure reading. Okay, so whenever you get to this point, it means you're already in hypertensive crisis and you need to do something. And as I said, first thing, some people, if they get into hypertensive crisis for different reasons, and one of the reasons why I talked about water, drinking water and high blood pressure is this. Do you know that some people, when they check their blood pressure reading and it's like very high, they ask them, drink water. Do you know why drinking water can improve your blood pressure? Because some people who work out under the sun, for example, they get dehydrated. Drinking water and your blood pressure usually have to do with dehydration. If your high blood pressure or your blood pressure reading is high at that particular moment because you are dehydrated, it means that the viscosity of the blood is high, meaning the blood is thick. Usually our blood has some water component in it, making it, not too thick, so it can flow through the vessels without any problem. But when your blood becomes too thick, what happens is that the heart requires a higher force to push it through the vessels, which makes it difficult for the heart. And the more the heart makes like effort to push the very thick blood through the blood vessels, the reading goes up. So that is the relationship between dehydration, drinking water, and high blood pressure. So when you hear we tell people like drink water immediately if you notice your blood pressure is high, we are referring to people who probably their blood pressure is high because they have been dehydrated for different reasons. Maybe walking under the sun, not drinking a lot of water, or not just having a lot of water in your body can cause your blood to become thicker. Meaning, when it becomes thicker, the heart has to add more force to push you through the vessel. I'm just trying to explain this so that every layman, whoever, even if you're not a health person, you can understand it. That's why I'm trying to explain it very well. So if you notice that your blood reading is high, drink water. If it doesn't solve the problem, it means that what is causing your high blood pressure is not dehydration, because drinking water and maintaining good maintaining good blood reading only works when it's caused by dehydration. Now, let me tell you something. Drinking excess water as well is not good for drinking excess water is not also good for your blood reading. So I'm going to explain that when I go live next, okay? So today, if you haven't learned anything, you have learned that dehydration, which is not having enough water in your body, can cause high blood pressure, and I just explained to you how. It increases the viscosity of the blood, it increases the thickness of the blood, and when the blood becomes too thick, what is going to happen is it doesn't flow freely through the blood vessel, and the heart will need to add more pressure, do more work to pump this blood around the body. And when the heart is doing more work to pump the blood through the blood vessels, it means that the blood reading is going to increase. And at that particular moment, if they check your blood reading, they are going to tell you have high blood pressure. So that is the relationship between drinking water and high blood pressure. I will see you in my next live. Thank you guys for joining, and make sure you ask me any question on the comment section if you have any. Till then, ciao from here.